making sense of politics and the cultural divide from a different perspective. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant on News Radio 710 Keel.
Coming to you live. It is a great day in the USA, and thank you so much for joining us here. This is America on the Edge. Well, you'll not live on the edge. You will have the edge. We invite you to stay a while. I'm here with my co-host, Stephen Parr, and we are going to have a jam-packed show today. Folks, don't change a thing. Listen to this show today, and I guarantee you're going to enjoy it. Stephen, why don't you tell the folks what's in the lineup?
Well, CL, we are talking about support starting to peel away, slowly but surely. Support for President Obama from his base.
Amazing.
Is starting to peel away, and we've got some evidence of that. I want to play a real quick clip for you. Remember back in the 2008 election, the campaign season, and there was a lady, she was so happy because things were going to get paid for her.
Oh, yeah.
Let's roll this clip here of the Obama supporter.
It was the most memorable time of my life. It was a touching moment because I never thought this day would ever happen. I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me.
Poor deluded soul. The sky was parting, the ocean stopped rising, and the temperature went down. Amazing. This
was going to be the day when everything started coming up, puppy dogs and roses and buttercups.
And all the children were happy.
And maybe she's starting to realize she was led down a yellow brick road.
Amazing. You know, and he is Oz, the great and powerful.
And that is the subject of what we're going to be talking about with the support slowly being peeled away. We'll hear what that lady, Peggy Joseph.
You're saying there's an erosion going on here, Stephen?
There is erosion. Yes.
Sounds like the rats are jumping ship.
The seas may have started rising, but they're in metaphorical seas.
The Titanic is going down.
So we'll be covering over that. The other thing is that, and this leads us to our question of the day, but more and more governors are coming out saying, not in my backyard, with the immigration issue. A couple more governors have come out and said to the federal government, stop sending these illegal, undocumented, unescorted children to our state.
Can you blame them? I mean, after all, it's all about states' rights.
It really is. And when you hear what some of these governors are saying, it really brings up some questions about who owns the states.
Yeah.
Does the federal government own the states and it can just put people there?
And, folks, if you're out there without a door on your house, maybe there's not a border there. But if you got a door on your house or if you got a fence around your yard, there's a border. America has borders as well.
And so that is something we'll be talking about. But let's first get to the big buzz of the day.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
And the big buzz of the day is Sergeant Bergdahl.
Oh, my God.
He has the potential now. Yesterday we were talking about how he's been assigned to active duty and he's going to be helping people with their etiquette and their protocol. And that's the job he has now been assigned to. But we find out now he may be, if the investigation going into him about his leaving his troop, if it turns out the Army says he wasn't a deserter.
He gets paid.
He gets paid, back pay. $200,000 back pay plus another $150,000 if he was a prisoner of war.
I still don't see it, Stephen. Here's a guy who is documented as saying that the United States military was a place for fools.
Yeah.
This is a man who said that he was not proud to be there. I've heard somebody else say that, but we won't deal with that today. How in the world is this man not in the brig until we determine whether or not he is a deserter?
Yeah, I don't understand why he was released either. It seems to me that this investigation would certainly be going on.
Anyone else, you'd be in the brig, I think. I would definitely be in the brig.
Yeah, you know what? It may not be so much about Bergdahl as it is about the administration. I think under any other administration, I'd be in the brig.
But you know what's really amazing about this? He hasn't, according to sources that we have, he hasn't spoken to his parents.
Right.
What's your take on that, man?
I find it fascinating because remember his parents were on either side. They were bookending President Barack Obama in the Rose Garden when the president came out and said, hey, I've made this wonderful, wonderful deal and all Americans are going to love it because I've taken 5 Taliban people who were very, very dangerous and in a prison that we don't want, and I've just let them go free, and we're going to get a guy that left us, and we're bringing him back.
But there's so much that we don't know about that relationship.
We don't.
The truth is we really don't know the last time that he actually communicated with his parents, and if he hadn't communicated with them, let's just say a year before they came out in the Rose Garden, smells like a sham to me.
And according to the Wall Street Journal, he still has not talked to his parents after he's been back. So Bergdahl's been stateside. He's been in San Antonio.
You mentioned something about a change of heart. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this was something that just struck me right before the show. I wonder if at some point during his captivity, and this is absolutely pure speculation, so people don't agree with me, you're certainly welcome not to, because I'm kind of out on a limb here, but I wonder if he had a change of heart at some point, because before he left his platoon, before he left his soldiers, he had sent an email to his dad saying, oh, boy, everything's horrible here. And his dad wrote back in all caps, follow your conscience.
But how long ago was that when he said that? How long ago was that email? How old is that email is what I'm getting at?
That was right before he left.
And that would have been 5 years prior.
That's right.
So we don't know. What I'm getting at is we don't know if, in fact, he's talked or emailed his father since then. But the way it was portrayed to the American people is that his mom and dad had some actual contact with him, and that may or may not even be true.
And the other thing is that he hasn't had contact since he's been back. So why not? Did something, obviously, being held by the Taliban, you got a lot of time to think. Did he have a change of heart? Did he decide, you know what, my dad's advice was horrible and he put me into a bad situation, so I'm not going to talk to him when I get stateside?
His dad's an idiot.
Maybe he decided his dad was an idiot? I don't know. I just have questions about it. Why hasn't he talked to his dad? And, I'm trying to find what's the most logical answer here, and I'm coming up blank, so I'm left with speculation.
This whole thing is defying logic, Stephen.
Yeah.
Him being in the position that he's in, behind the desk, he being reinstated into the military without any penalty whatsoever, and this man is on record as saying that he did not like us.
And he has the potential to bring home $350,000 tax-free.
Give it to the men's families who lost their lives looking for him is my suggestion. Folks, this is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. We're going to invite you to stick around. Stay a while. We're going to have a good time. Talk to you in a minute.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the Outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
Have you ever thought, I wish I didn't have to search for the best price on printing or direct mail? Tired of trying to design your own material on some confusing website just to get to the end and it's not that professional look your business needs? Well, stop searching and call Graphic Industries. We've been waiting on your business, ready to help you with your printing and direct mail needs. Graphic Industries offers all types of print, stationery, brochures, flyers, catalogs, door hangers, books, pocket folders, postcards, variable printed letters, and much, much more. Graphic Industries can direct mail for you, too. You can customize a mailing list, target a certain demographic, or just flood the market and get your name in the homes of thousands of potential clients. Lowest prices, best quality, and a faster turn time. Visit us online at graphicindustries.net. or call us today at 318-222-1100. Graphic Industries, the #1 choice of printing and direct mail.
Planning your next staycation? You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport in the historic village of Grand Cane stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s before the Civil War. The Cook Hill House is also the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast, Victorian elegance with country charm.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burr. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get 'em, CL.
Bring the entire family to the Natchitoches NSU Folk Festival featuring Don Fontenot on July 18th and Saturday, July 19th for day-long entertainment with folk crafts, Cajun dance lessons, and music by Jeffrey Broussard and the Creole Cowboys. Held in air-conditioned Prather Coliseum on the NSU campus in Natchitoches. Kids 12 and under admitted free. This project is supported in part by the Cane River National Heritage Area Incorporated. Come join at the fun of the Natchitoches NSU Folk Festival July 18th and 19th.
Hello, I'm Alice Foster. If you're a woman 65 or older and you love your family like I do, please think about this. You're an important part of your family's life, but your risk of getting breast cancer increases as you get older. Call your doctor for a mammogram now. Medicare pays for most of the cost, and it's the most important step we can take to ensure precious time with our loved ones. I work hard to fight breast cancer. Please join me. A mammogram is the best gift you can give. Do it for yourself.
Giving
Do it
you
for your family.
the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr. Our question of the day is, would you be okay with illegal immigrants being shipped to your state?
I say send her to Nancy Pelosi's house.
She's got a very big house, as I understand. So
I think she'd take
there may
about
be room
25.
for a couple, and she's not there very often. She's mostly in D.C., so there's plenty of room. But if you want to answer that question, you can call us 320-KEEL, 320-KEEL, or you can send us a tweet at The American Edge, Also, our website, AmericaOnTheEdge.com. You can go there and talk to us as well. See, we started off the show talking about how there's some signs that support for Obama, especially from his base, is starting to peel away. And
it's eroding.
I wanted to give you three examples of it. Let's start in his hometown of Chicago. And Rahm Emanuel, his buddy, is the mayor there.
A puppet mayor.
But there's support starting to come away, and there's poll numbers saying Rahm Emanuel would lose to this woman, a lady named Karen Lewis.
Yeah.
She's a school board member. Listen to what she says about Rahm Emanuel.
Right.
When will we address the fact that rich white people think they know what's in the best interest of children of African American and Latinos, no matter what the parents' income or education level?
This is significant, Stephen. Let me tell you why this is significant. Let me read between the lines just a little bit for you.
Okay.
She is calling Rahm Emanuel the president's puppet.
Yeah.
In mayor, a rich white man who is out of touch with blacks and Latinos there. It's significant to your point because this is a peel away. I would tell you she probably voted for Obama.
Yeah.
And she probably voted for Rahm.
First time, probably.
Probably voted for Rahm first time around. It's peeling. It's eroding.
And the polls say she would beat Emanuel by 9 points right now.
Landslide.
And she's not even running yet. She's talking about it, but she's not running
even
yet.
in the race, and she's beating him by eight points.
Yeah, 9 points.
Yeah,
right now.
8 points is a landslide. 9 points is all-out victory.
And when she starts running a campaign, she might get to double digits. All right, so let's go to another Illinois politician. This is a Democrat. This is Representative Gutierrez, and he's talking about why didn't Obama go down to the border? And he makes an analogy. Listen to this.
I kind of think of, if I were on vacation in Puerto Rico and my wife's aunt was in the hospital and I didn't go see her, I think her family get together and probably say, Sodi, you made a poor choice. I mean, it is important that he do that.
Gutierrez, a Democrat congressman from Obama's hometown, is saying in that analogy that he used with his wife and his aunt and her aunt, we made a poor choice. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He's saying that there's a sickness on the border. This is what this Democrat Obama homegrown congressman is saying, that there's a sickness on our border, and he was in town. And what he chose to do was go and have a pina colada and go to the beach, but he didn't go to see Annie M.
He was in Texas, but didn't go to the Air Force Base where they're being held. He didn't go to the border.
We made a poor choice.
That's right. Now, Remember, we played the clip at the beginning of the show of the lady who said, I'm going to have my gas paid for. I'm going to have – this is grassroots now. This is an individual voter who was very excited about hope and change.
She's gold.
Listen to this clip. By the way, this is from a filmmaker named Joel Gilbert, who is making a film, a documentary called There's No Place Like Utopia. He went and tracked down this supporter, Peggy Joseph, and listened to what he found out from her now.
I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage.
Did Obama pay for your mortgage? And did he pay for your gas?
Absolutely not. Mortgage got worse and prices got higher. During that time, we needed a change, but a change for the better, not for the worse.
You know, Stephen, it's a long way from those Greek columns.
It is.
On that night. It's a long way. And the word that pops into my mind is disillusioned. There is a feeling of disillusionment all over black folks in particular, and particularly those who voted for him who are progressive liberals.
Peggy Joseph expected Obama to be able to change things. She expected him to have the ability. She expected him to be all-powerful and all-powerful for a good cause, for Oz. And that is the theme that Joel Gilbert plays in his film, this Oz falling apart. And Peggy Joseph talks about that. Listen to this next part.
He had a very big voice, just like the Wizard of Oz. The wizard with this little teeny, tiny man. And I think it's the same thing with Obama, man behind the curtain. Not who we thought or expected him to be. I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. That's how I feel. I was Dorothy.
Well, they didn't think he was the Scarecrow, and he hasn't turned out to be the Scarecrow, because the Scarecrow at least can still sing If I Only Had a Brain. And this guy, this man has proven that he does not. He's not in charge of what's going on in this country. And I beg the question, who's in charge? Who's running this ship?
Well, who was running things in Oz?
I think it was those flying monkeys, man.
Uh-huh. And
it was the monkeys.
I mean, Obama's got people supporting him still in the Oval Office. He's got a very tight-knit group. It includes Valerie Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm not going to say wicked anything about her.
You know, and the IRS certainly has some wings. It can fly around and invade places. But the whole point of what was expected has not come to be.
Yeah.
And he talked a good game.
And it just did not materialize.
But you're supposed to ignore the man behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. There's no courage. There's no heart. There's no brains behind the Obama administration. So I really see this woman's point, especially when you look at where she was.
Yeah.
Then,
yeah.
Oh, he's going to take care of the mortgage. I won't have to pay any gas pay for gas to put in my car. And now, 5 years later, 5.5 years later, oh man, reality is almost grim.
Let me talk about the good part of this, okay? I believe things happen, and if you look at it, something good comes from it. There may be something good that comes from the Obama presidency. It's not what Obama thought it would be, but listen to Peggy's reaction now about how she has changed as a person.
Amazing.
I started getting a little bit more educated about politics and reading more. What I learned is never trust the wizard. It's within ourselves to have the determination, the courage, and the brains to bring us to our destiny.
Is America still the land of opportunity?
100% it is. Anything that you want to do or become, you can do it in America.
Stephen, she gives me hope.
Yes.
This is exactly what we're trying to do across the country. When I leave the studio and go traveling around the country on college campuses, in churches, to Chicago and Detroit and places like that, it is people like her. It is those types of comments that we're wanting to stimulate out of them that I'm thinking for myself now, and I am not trusting the wizard to make the decisions for me. I see a paradigm shift happening in America. Folks, it's still a great day in the USA.
And this is a movie coming out called There's No Place Like Utopia. It's a documentary made by Joel Gilbert. If you guys want to check out some more information on that, we'll put a link on our Twitter at The American Edge. By the way, do we still have a caller? I believe we have a caller calling in for our question of the day. How do you feel about illegals coming to your state? First of all, We have a caller, and I didn't catch your name. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
You talking about Mike?
Mike?
Yes.
Welcome to America on the Edge. That question of the day.
Yeah, I it's very simple. Just follow our laws. You know, they're already illegal by definition, so they broke the law, send them all back where they came from.
Mike, so you're saying that illegal means illegal.
That's what my Webster dictionary says. They broke the law.
Well,
so,
should we send them all back? What are you saying?
Send them back.
Send them on back. Mike, thanks so much for calling in.
I got one other comment.
Okay, real quick. We're almost out of time here.
Yeah. If we've proven that we can trade enemies of our country for one person, why don't we take 3 Mexican drug dealers and trade them for that Marine that they got in the jail in Mexico?
You know what, Mike? Not a bad idea at all. Let's take some and trade. I tell you what, let's go down there and get him. Let's go get him.
I think we need to.
We'll be right back with more America on the Edge, talking about GOP outreach. Coming up next.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
If you haven't yet, go to our website, AmericaOnTheEdge.com. It's different than most websites out there, and that's because it's not a website, it's our nation, created by Logic Nation. As we're launching this new kind of radio show, we decided to partner with a new kind of internet company. Logic Nation gives us a new way to interact with you through your existing social media platforms. We've got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all in one place, which makes it easy. Too much of the time, social media becomes a place where we bicker and fight rather than listen and learn. Logic Nation gives us the ability to start a new conversation on air and online. So now when you go to our Nation page and start a conversation with CL or with me, we can stay focused on that discussion without getting distracted. It's going to change things, and I believe for the better. Logic Nation has an app to make it easier to browse content on your mobile devices. You can download that for free today. If you have a business that needs to reach your customers in a new interactive way, you should give Logic Nation a try.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Olier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
Conserving water is mostly a matter of using good common sense. Your porcelain throne is notorious for its hidden leaks, stealing water 24/7. A leaky toilet can waste hundreds of gallons of water a day and go completely undetected. So check your toilet for wear and proper adjustment periodically. The declining Sparta Aquifer is our main water source in North Louisiana. Do your part for water conservation. Be Sparta smart. Make every drop count. This public service announcement is brought to you by this radio station, a member of the Sparta Media Network.
News Radio 710 Keel. News Radio 710 Keel. News Radio 710 Keel. News Radio 710. You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with our own preacher man, C.L. Bryant. I'm Stephen Parr. Hey, if you want to help support what we're doing here, you can advertise, you can send us an email, ad@AmericaOnTheEdge.com, at AmericaOnTheEdge.com. Speaking of Preacher Man, the GOP is trying to find new ways to reach out to the religious community across this country as basically GOP outreach. And heading up that effort is Chad Connelly. He used to be the head of the GOP in South Carolina, now the director of faith engagement for the Republican National Committee. He's in town because starting tomorrow at Airline Baptist Church at noon, there's going to be a luncheon there talking about this very issue.
Chad, welcome to America on the Edge. And before I bring you in, there is a loyal Republican friend of ours that I want to take the time right now to wish a very happy birthday, and that's our good friend Michelle Odom. Michelle, wherever you are, happy birthday to you. Chad.
Yes, sir.
Give us an idea.
Well, hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me, CO. You're a hero, and I sure appreciate what you stand for. And, of course, I've seen you speak and been around you at our organizational meetings. But, I was chairman in South Carolina and was very frustrated that we lost to President Obama. South Carolina's going to go red, so I had created a program to engage my donors in other states as well. We called it Palmetto Patriots. I actually recruited 1,400 South Carolina Republicans, sent them to 8 battleground states. I had really good intel. I saw what was going on the ground, and I saw that the faith component was an afterthought in the campaign. I think that, by and large, it was taken for granted. It wasn't anybody's fault. It's just one of those things, you take it for granted.
Are people of faith really engaging in the process? Are pastors doing that?
They're really not. George Barna, I know you know who George Barna is. He's probably the biggest, most prolific pollster out there. He and Gallup would be together, but he polls in the Christian community. He says there are around 89 million born-agains or / evangelical, how you want to put that segment together. 30.5 million voted, and as we know, 78% voted for Governor Romney. That means 22% voted against the values they say they stand for.
You'd have had
they
a
voted
different
for
president.
Obama.
You would have had a different
Amen.
president if that would have occurred, if they'd have came out to
Amen.
vote.
The biggest part, though, almost 60 million people like me and you didn't even bother to go vote. And they've been told all sorts of myths. Well, the IRS will come get you, or you can't make a difference, whatever. They just back away. I think that's our biggest problem. We got to get our people out voting.
You're going to be tomorrow in Bossier Parish.
Yes, sir.
The perhaps most important Senate race in the entire country is here in Louisiana.
At least one of them. That's right.
Yeah, because it could really mean the flip. The only parish in northern Louisiana that voted for Barack Obama last time was Caddo Parish. So my question to you is, why are you in Bossier Parish and not in Caddo Parish?
Well, basically, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the country. I'm meeting with faith leaders everywhere. I've been in 26 states, actually meeting with different organizational leaders, denominational leaders, and whatnot, just giving this message to them. I'm here because I got invited. So the folks who were helping me put this meeting together said, hey, we got a location. Would you come and talk to pastors? But this morning I gave my testimony to about 450 or 500 pastors in Baton Rouge. I'll be back here. I'll be back in September and October. And, of course, with a supposed runoff, I'll probably be back here in November as well.
Chad, I shared this with Rand Paul and Reince Priebus up in Iowa. And then I talked to Reince down in New Orleans just a couple of months ago.
Right.
This is what I shared with him. I said, listen, the Republican Party is going to have to make a concerted effort to go into places where they've never been before. And the black church is somewhere where progressive liberals, the Democrats, feel very much at home.
Yeah.
Republicans have got to tell our story.
Amen.
To folks who, in fact, were liberated by them. How come we're not doing that?
And Reince, you mentioned Chairman Priebus. Reince is a friend of mine. We had gotten close together. We had prayed. I was a chairman of South Carolina. He was the national chairman, so we got to know each other. That's how this came about. He basically created a job for me. I had gotten reelected last May. He said, look, I want you to do this. And I said, well, would you want me to live in D.C.? He said, preferably so. And I said, well, Reince, I'm not going to D.C. My story, we were both widowed. Our kids need to be in South Carolina. And by the way, the job's not there. It's in those Senate states. When he called back maybe a month and a half later after my reelect, he said, look, I've been praying about this. I want you to do it. You love the Lord. You understand this political process. That's kind of odd in our orbit. And I want you to do this. I want you to be the first ever director of faith engagement. Call what you want, live where you want, and go work in these Senate states.
That was great, man.
And I'm not doing any segment. I'm doing Christians, evangelicals, faith people. You segment how you want to.
Right.
I've done Hispanic. I've done Black. I've done evangelical.
Right.
You name the segment. That's where I've been speaking because, see, I think the left and the media have been real good at dividing us. You're purple, you're pink polka dotted.
Right.
You're white, black, yellow, whatever.
Right.
You're from here, you're from there. They segment us. But really the only thing that divides us is what we believe in, the principles. Now, I got a wife and 4 children, and we can't agree on a Whopper or a Big Mac. So we're never going to find perfect. And our folks are pretty knowledgeable politically. They're not very savvy. So part of what we're trying to do is educate. But if you look at what the chairman's doing, he's working hard, and we have people on the ground in every different category you can name. He wants to give that story because we do have a great story
We
to
have
tell.
a great story.
We've not been good
We're
at
not
telling
it.
Amen. But he also wants to run up the score in places like the church community, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well, fantastic.
How are you? I mean, as a white man, and not to divide more, but how are you received when you go into these minority churches?
Excellent. Let me give you 2 stories. CL will know this. I was the first Republican to speak at the Kojic conference, the Church of God in Christ in Orlando last year.
I remember that.
And, wasn't like there's a whole lot of white people there.
No, not at
But,
Kojic.
I grew up in a little town in South Carolina. Nobody ever told me there was a difference. Forget what the media narrative is. We had white guys, black guys. We played ball together. We spent the night at each other's houses. That just wasn't something. Yeah. It's not the media narrative. So it didn't intimidate me a bit. And so I went in. I spoke on 1 Corinthians 1:10. Let there be no division among you. Mm-hmm. Division is over principles, not over where you're from or what you look like. Good gracious. And I was very well received. In fact, the main speaker leans back in his chair. He introduced himself. As I'm on the dais being introduced, he hands me his business card. He's a pastor in Charlotte. He says, "Hey, I didn't vote for Obama either." Now, I'm the only white guy in the building, I think, and he says, "Come see me." And we've built a great relationship. Second story, I met some great folks. You probably know the Berry Hills in Nashville.
Yes, I do.
Memphis, actually.
Small world.
Hit it off.
I do know.
I love them. They're just some of my heroes in the world.
Yeah.
She's going through treatments now. I called her the other day and prayed with her and talked to her on the phone.
Yes.
But anyway, she said, and Pastor Chester said, "Come back and do an event for me in Memphis." So I flew. I literally had like 3 hours. I flew into Memphis. I went over to a place called the Catfish Cabin. It's in urban Memphis.
Now, see, that's what I like about your stories. Even though you're from North Carolina.
South Carolina.
Oh, you're from South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back in the fold. Okay,
yeah. And so I fly in. We go to the Catfish Cabin. He's got, I think, 25 black pastors. Okay. Again, I'm the only white guy in the place. Doesn't bother me a bit. All but 3 voted for Obama, but almost all of them said, "Look, I made a mistake. This guy doesn't share my values." Last story. It went so well, the Berry Hills said, "Look, come back. Let's invite the leadership of every black denomination, including the non-denominational church." There's 6 denominational leadership headquarters in Memphis. Mm-hmm. And we had the leadership, Stephen, of all 6 of those with the RNC at the spring meeting this year. Chairman Priebus postponed the meeting, rented a bus, drove the 80 or so RNC committee members who had already flown in, and we broke bread. We didn't have a speech.
Chad,
we didn't
that
talk.
story
We didn't
has
have a great
to be. Yeah.
And, we sent it out to every media. I think 2 black media outlets picked it up. Look, we got to teach our people. The media, not all of them, most of them are inherently dishonest. They don't want to tell the truth. Yeah. They're not going to tell about C.L. Bryant. They're not going to tell what Chad Connelly's telling.
No.
Let's just go ahead and admit that. And because this stuff's going on everywhere, I think God's moving, and I'm very excited about it.
Chad, let me share this with you, man. That story has to be duplicated over and over again. Let me tell you why. The reason I made the suggestion about the South, I believe that there is a certain, and I say this all over the country, I believe there's a certain understanding of how human beings can and should get along that comes uniquely from the South. We as Southerners have gotten over so many things that our friends in Chicago and places like that, they have not gotten over. And I think it's because, as you were saying, you broke bread with these brothers.
Yeah.
Okay? But we eat the same things in the South. We believe God basically the same way in the South. And we enjoy the outdoors, fishing, what have you.
That's right.
In the South, the way no other group of people around the country really enjoy it. We have this relationship that others from above the Mason-Dixon line really don't understand. And so I believe that the Republican Party, and I'm going to be saying this more and more as we head toward these elections in 14 and in 16, is that we are going to have to tell that story of how we overcame that.
And you'd be real proud of Chairman Priebus. That's what he's focused on. Yeah. And, he's hired the whole staff there. I'm out doing this all over the country, especially in the Senate race states. I think what you're saying and you're dreaming of is exactly what he has been focused on and what the staff's doing.
We're wanting to help in any way we can. You get in touch with our producer here, and we will be ready to help you in any way we can, because the main thing is we got to win.
Yes, sir.
We must win, and then we can really fight.
That's right.
Let me ask if
country's off the rails. I mean, people know it, and I think pastors are realizing it.
Let me ask if there's a risk here, with this strategy for the GOP. You're going after the evangelical vote. Is there a risk of an overreach to where then the left comes back and says, look, they're just going after the religious vote and they're trying to shut down all your rights just because you don't agree with them?
I think what I've learned is the left is always going to whine and complain. The media is always going to whine and complain. We need to tell our story. I love what CL said. That's what Reince Priebus, the chairman of the RNC, has been saying. We got a great story to tell. We need to do a better job of telling it. And, I told him when I started the job, I said, Reince, I'm a relationship guy. I want to build relationships. I think when you lose, what you find out is maybe I've got an authenticity. Maybe I've got a trust problem. Maybe I got a relationship problem. Let me go build some relationships and show them that your heart is right. You're in this. And Reince is an all hands on deck. We want all the votes we can get, man. Let's go win. We got a great story to tell. We don't expect everybody to agree with us on everything. Like I said, my wife and kids and I, we don't agree on everything. Y'all know how that works. Everybody who's married understands that.
Let me ask you
on a
this.
Sandwich, Steve.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned voting our values earlier and how some of us of our persuasion, Christian persuasion, don't vote their values. That's almost a phenomenon.
It's scary.
I don't understand that.
I really don't. I got to tell you, it's always befuddled me, CL. In your heart of hearts, I'm a Christian first. I'm a conservative. I happen to be a Republican. If the platform didn't line up with my core beliefs, I couldn't live myself. Now, and I know that's not everybody. That's a personal thing. But I don't know how somebody votes for a guy who states he's diametrically opposed to the things that you believe in.
Right.
And that's why I talk about principles so much, because principles unite or divide. It's the things you believe in that set us apart. It's not where you're from or what you look like or those kind of things.
Thank you so much for coming in and being with us today. Please tell Chairman Priebus that we said hello, and we're available. Michelle, you can get in touch with us through Michelle or Elaine anytime that you want to. And so we thank you so much for that.
Thank you, brother.
And, folks, we have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to win. You've heard what the game plan is. And we'd like to invite you to get on board with us. This is C.L. Bryant, America on the Edge. Well, you'll not have to live on the edge. You will have the edge, along with my co-host, Stephen Parr. We'll be back in a minute.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport in the historic village of Grand Cane stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s before the Civil War. Today, antiques and homemade quilts fill king and queen size suites. Rooms come fully furnished with private baths and free cable and Wi-Fi. Plus, you get a homemade country breakfast from Grand Cane Gourmet Jane Bryant included in your reservation. The Cook Hill House is the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers, or when simply planning your next staycation. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. That's 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. Victorian elegance with country charm.
If you're in need of a good plumber, perhaps you need work on your heater, or especially right now with cooling and refrigeration systems. If you need help, give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
710 Keel with the ultimate baseball trip. Imagine you and a friend going to any stadium in any city to see the pro baseball game of your choice. Prize includes 2 tickets, airfare, and $300 in cash. It's the ultimate baseball trip from Shreveport Airport and American Airlines, now offering first-class service to Dallas-Fort Worth with connections to more than 150 cities worldwide. Register to win at 710keel.com. The home of Rush Limbaugh. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 710 Keel.
These senators do not want to control immigration. They want to expand it. Wealth will be redistributed from the middle class to a new class of poor. But what we're actually doing is importing poverty in order to enhance big government.
Rush right here on your news and weather station. News Radio 710 Keel.
Conserving water is mostly a matter of using good common sense. If there's a drip in your home, it can waste a lot of water. A leaky faucet can add from 20 to 40 gallons a day to your water bill. That's literally money going down the drain. Get leaky faucets fixed. The declining Sparta aquifer is our main water source in North Louisiana. Do your part for water conservation. Be Sparta smart. Make every drop count. This public service announcement is brought to you by this radio station, a member of the Sparta Media Network.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. Remember, most days I still feel like I'm 18 to 20. I mean, there's bumps in there, of course, but you look back on it on balance, it's not a thing I would change.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
I'm alright. Nobody but about me. Why you got to give me a fight?
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr. Our question of the day, how would you feel about illegal, undocumented, unescorted minors being dumped in your state? We have a phone call at 320-KEEL, 320-KEEL. This is Jay in Bossier. Jay, how would you feel about illegals coming to Bossier Parish, being brought there by the government?
Well, it's just frustrating over the fact that, one, they're already here. But they're going to bring more people here. I'm still out on the job. I'm self-employed. All my tax dollars are going to pay for people that can't even get a job here. So they don't even have the opportunity to be productive citizens.
Absolutely, Jay. This is CL. Welcome to the show. And let me say this. You sound like a young man trying to make it here in America, the land of opportunity. We had a guest on a couple of days ago that said there's 900,000 more lined up to come into this country. How does that make you feel? How does that bode? That doesn't bode well for you, does it?
Oh, no. Well, as a Christian person, we all have our bleeding hearts. I wish everybody could come to America, get away from their socialist, communist countries, but that's not our problem. We can't take care of ourselves. We cannot provide the economic stimulus because of the failed policies to provide jobs for the working Americans that are here legally.
Because it does boil down to who's going to pay for these folks who don't have a job.
Right, and it's us right here. Me out working, you working. It's not everybody coming across the border, because our government, in all of their love, has made it to where these illegals can't get a job because of E-Verify, which I'm all for, but it's a double-edged sword. We're cutting ourselves to both sides.
Jay, thanks for calling in. Appreciate you doing that, and thanks for being here on America on the Edge. Jay's not the only one who feels that the illegals coming to his state would not necessarily be welcome. Listen to Nebraska Governor Dave Heineman as he was talking to Anderson Cooper on CNN.
So, Governor, these 200 children brought to your state in recent months, is it true you were told nothing about them coming?
That's exactly right. I only learned last Thursday or Friday when Senator Johans found out that the federal government sent 200 illegal individuals to our state. No mayor's been notified. I haven't been notified. And we believe we deserve that notification.
When we talk about the heavy hand of government, the heavy hand of the feds overriding states' rights, this is what we're talking about here. This is a governor of a state who's having illegals dumped in his front yard. They're not in the backyard. They're dumping them on his doorstep. And he had no clue that they were coming. Something is horribly wrong. We have to fix this. This has to get fixed.
And the government should, be talking to the governors. The federal government should be talking to the states. This is not a dictatorship. The federal government is not all powerful. States do have individual rights as enumerated in the Constitution.
And folks, don't you ever forget that the feds derive their power from us. We lend them our power from each and every separate state. We do not get our powers from the feds. They get theirs from us. And when you hear this type of thing going on, it sounds like the cart is before the horse.
And after this from the Nebraska governor, the Iowa governor, Governor Terry Branstad, said he doesn't want any of those children to come to his state either. During a press conference, he said the first thing we need to do is secure the border. I do have empathy for these kids, but I also don't want to send the signal that you send your kids to America illegally. that's not the right message. So
no,
I think part of the reason why they didn't tell the Nebraska governor about it is because they probably knew he would say, no, thank you.
Absolutely, but they did it anyway. You see, and there is something very, very underhanded.
Yeah.
There's something dishonest about that, Stephen, when you know that the answer to your request is going to be no, don't bring them here. But yet, as a federal government, you send them to a state that you feel is not going to take them. That's dishonest.
It's that policy of it's easier to get forgiveness than permission. And I tell my kids in my house, no, but you get that permission first. Don't try and do something you know I'm not going to like.
Right. But this whole administration for this last 5.5 years has been operating that way.
Yes.
And now it has run out. We are tired of it. Americans are tired of it. The people who voted for this guy, for the president, are tired of it. And you know, no disrespect to the office whatsoever, but there has been a poor job done in this office. Got to make a change.
Listen to the Nebraska governor again one more time here on, this is Dave Heineman again talking with Anderson Cooper.
And this isn't about partisan politics. I agree with the president. We will treat them humanely while they're here, and then we should expeditiously return them to their country of origin. So again, it's not about politics. Talk to governors of both parties. Governor Hickenlooper of Colorado, Democrat, he's expressing the same concerns I am.
And the thing about that, too, Stephen, one of the points that we failed to bring up in this, only 20% of these children, we have the documentation on this, only 20% of these people who are coming across this border are children. We're talking about 14 and up.
Yeah.
And some of these people who are coming in already are hardened. They are already about doing bad. And you're turning them loose on city streets without any type of warning to the authority. If the governor didn't know, guess who else didn't know? The sheriff department didn't know. The state troopers didn't know. The police department didn't know. All of a sudden, these people show up, crime rates go up. Everything is happening here because the feds are overreaching. And that is something we as Americans should not tolerate.
Let us know what you think about it. Send us a tweet to @TheAmericanEdge. @TheAmericanEdge. We will be right back with more America on the Edge.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
If you're tired of getting nickel and dime for your company's marketing needs, GI Marketing Group can help. We're a new, evolved marketing company with no monthly fees or markups and with quicker response times. With GI Marketing Group, there is no outsourcing. We own the production facilities, everything from print, mail, video, digital, and web designs. We do it all in-house. Call us today at 318-222-1100 to start saving time and money, or visit us online at gimarketinggroup.com.
It's a Summer Sizzler Showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the Outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
SB Magazine, North Louisiana's premier publication, is your source for local entertainment, home decor ideas, gardening information, fashion trends, and seasonal gift guides. Every month we take you behind the scenes at some of Shreveport-Bossier's most fun events in on SB, and you'll find SB Magazine everywhere. But the best way to make sure you have the most current issue is to subscribe. It's just $16 for 12 months. Call Debbie today or go to our website, sbmag.net. SB Magazine, the pulse of Shreveport-Bossier.
Is your house just not cool enough when you walk in from work? You deserve to sit in the cool and comfort of your own home after a long, hard day. Give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318. 888 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Rush. He's in your face. He says what you might be thinking, and sometimes what makes you mad.
Fewer and fewer people actually have a moral core. They're not willing to stand up for their moral core. And you talk about the double standard, and one of the greatest illustrations of it is rappers can practically say anything they want about women, and it's called art.
Listen to Rush each weekday from 11 to 2 only on News Radio 710 Keel. Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Cannons and the tears roll down the street.
Man, I wish I could pull off Stevie.
Oh,
you know,
man.
Stevie Ray Vaughan's got the name Stevie, and I can't pull off Stevie. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I'm Steven Parr. I can't pull off Stevie.
Nah, I can't see you, Stevie.
Anyway, if you want to support what we're doing here, you can send an email to ad@americaontheedge.com to advertise with us. You can also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/America on the Edge. And CL, this is the time of the show when we normally, I think we take our shoes off and sing It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. Nope, wrong show.
Yeah.
But this is the time when we ask you, so what do you think about the question of the day? Our question of the day is, how would you feel if these illegal immigrants were being brought into your state by the federal government? And
I'd be against it, man.
Yeah, I kind of thought
totally
you would.
against it. I mean, no, ain't happening. And, down the place where I live is like being in Mayberry, and I really love it and all of that. But I think we'd be really, upset. And that's a very calm word. We'd be very upset if that happened.
And I go back to what Rick Perry said about hurricane preparedness. Maybe it's because of all my years as a meteorologist, my work that I have done with Red Cross in setting up hurricane shelters here in Shreveport. But if we had these illegal immigrants being brought to this city, we would have to house them either at the gym at LSUS or over at CenturyLink or at the arena. And those are the exact same places where evacuees from Lake Charles and New Orleans and Baton Rouge have to go.
And, folks, you're going to lose your mind when I say this, but where are the real Americans going to go if something bad happens and you have these aliens, these illegals in those places? Listen, we want to thank God for this day that we have. It's one that we hadn't seen before, and we want to thank our men and women in uniform across this world who give Stephen and I the opportunity to sit behind this microphone in a free America and speak our mind. You be sure to stand up for God and country. You be sure to stand up for America. This is C.L. Bryant, America on the Edge with Stephen Parr. We'll see you in 23 hours. Bye now.
Keep America strong and living free. They see the damage and the pain, shattered lives, wave of rain. Still they march on down that